Yeah, Sports Goombahs radio webcast. YouTube show. Cassidy King. I got my chef to the left. From the big. And the sloppy hat.
Ho, 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 ho.
Mikey Walls to my right.
Hey.
He's wearing that hat. we had a hat for you, buddy, but we gave it up to old Dino there because it wouldn't fit on your head.
You got a big melon. Look at him.
I need like a Santa's official hat to fit on my head.
This is Sports Goombah Web Show. This is our holiday special. Welcome to the show. New sponsor. We got a new sponsor. You see my truck when you came into the studio? You see how beautiful that truck looked? I mean, that thing's shining in with the rain pouring on top of it.
Yep.
Beaten up really nice.
Done by Auto Magic Car Care. My man Mikey Primo and Matty Litton. Two of the finest car cleaners.
Detailers.
I did't get to that yet, B.
Oh, well, I'm just
Can I
saying.
do the commercial, man?
Do the commercial.
Thank you very much. Check him out. 215-322-2561 or check him out at www.automagiccarcare.com. Best in the business, bar none.
They do great work.
They do. I mean, it's inside. You know what's funny? They're so good. My seats are all slippery because they're all leather. I'm sliding. Hold on the wheel. I'm sliding all over the place, you know. I had to strap myself in twice with the seatbelt. All right. Beautiful job from these guys. Check Mikey and Matt. They're the best in the business. 215-322-2561. Check them out at automagiccarcare.com. Also, our gang at Seal Roof and see all your roof problems with one call. 215-533-4067. Check them out at sealroofing.net. Also, Apple Public Adjusters. They get it done when you have an insurance claim. 215-783-1282 or check them out at applepublicadjusters.com. Also, M. Resnick Plumbing. The plumber you want when your toilet ain't working because this guy gets it done. Anything else that clogs up in your house. Seriously, M. Resnick Plumbing, 267-991-0337. Best plumber in the Delaware Valley, bar none. All right, gang. The disappointment reigns all over. We know you all want to call in and talk about it and cry. 267-563-2893. 267-563-2893 is the Sports Goombah smoke phone. Give us a call if you want to do some ranting and beefing about everything sports and more. And those Philadelphia Eagles who disappointed us. You know, if you sit there, if you watch the Seattle game last night, you watch the football that team plays. Quite frankly, you know, you got to think about Seattle is now peaking, and you can't score against them. I don't care who you are right now. I mean, you know, I think it's going to be Brady, Seattle, and New England the way I see things right now. That's how I think it's going to end up being what it is now. I mean, that's what it's turning out to be. It's going to look like, and, you know, he took down Manning last year. Seattle took down Manning last year. Well, maybe they'll take down Brady this year because that defense is solid right now. And Russell Wilson does the job. He's a little Fran Tarkenton. That's what he is, a little Fran Tarkenton.
That can win.
I mean, look, Mike, I understand.
Fran can't win, but...
Well, these guys winning.
Yeah.
You know, forget Fran. He's selling shit now, I think. He's still selling stuff. Bottom line is that as a quarterback, he's a winning quarterback. I mean, he's one of the best, statistically wise, in Super Bowl and playoffs and wins and losses. Russell Wilson's one of the best out there right now. He doesn't make mistakes. And when you have a defensive team like they have, and your quarterback doesn't make mistakes, you're going to win this thing. It's obvious. It's what's going to happen. That's what I see right now. That's the you know. But be it as it may, watching that football game and then watching Saturday's game with the Eagles, and you know, you got to wonder if you got a defensive secondary. How did those guys get to the NFL? That's what I want to know. Where did they come up in the system to not be able to cover? I don't care about speed. It's just plain old position. And I blame Billy Davis, the defensive coordinator, for not figuring to do something with what he has. I understand he has no talent there, but there's got to be a different kind of scheme you could put together. And don't tell me the rush on the defensive line has to be everything. You got to know how to cover. You just can't get beat running down the field all the time.
And not even looking back.
Yeah, play the flick, play back on them. I mean, put a safety back 30 yards if you have to.
My whole, you know, over the years, you know, we've had creative nicknames for some of our secondary. Toast comes to mind. This guy should be officially called Head, because at least 2 or 3 times in the game does that ball hit him in the head when he's not looking, because he doesn't look back at the ball. Here's the one thing. I can improve his game 150% if he just turns the frick around And if he's not going to do that, he should be riding a bench or released.
Well, he's still, he's so beat so bad. When he turns around, he's still losing 3 or 4 yards. It's like he doesn't do his homework. He looks like we're talking about Fletcher, of course, and what's Carrie Williams? He ain't any better on the other side. He's too busy bitching and moaning before the ball's even snapped.
Well, I think they've all regressed.
Yeah,
like even from just, not just prior to the season, like where we got like from Baltimore, Carrier, from St. Louis with Bradley Fletcher, but just the season alone they've regressed. They look awful. They weren't as bad to start with. And granted, we're playing better teams, but Washington's not one of those better teams.
No, there was no reason for the amount. That game shouldn't have even been close. In my opinion.
It really shouldn't have been, because we had everything on the line and they had nothing.
And they had nothing except for a loudmouth guy named Deshaun Jackson that everybody wants back now, of course, because the fans. I used to think that the fans were smart, and I don't know what the hell they are now anymore.
Why would you ever think the fans are smart?
The fans aren't smart. The fans are what they are. They're fans. They're fanatics. That's what they are. They're fanatics for the sport. Deshaun Jackson. You got to give it to the guy. Even though he's 4-9,
4-11,
4-11, whatever. Yeah, he's boasting about how he beat the Eagles. Meanwhile, he's on a crappy team that's going to be torn to pieces next year, and he don't even know if he's going to be on that team. Who knows where he's going to be? It doesn't really matter. What matters is that this team fell apart in 3 weeks, like it had no business of being even in the playoff hunt. They look, and I don't want to hear about the quarterback situation, because Sanchez is what he was when you put him on this team, when you had him as your backup quarterback. And we were all fooled. And I was fooled thinking that maybe he could get it done at this point in this offense.
Me too.
But here's the deal. The deal is, and like I've been saying from day one, where I was boasting about Potato, contorting to the NFL and changing things around to where his offense is going to work here. The bottom line is the NFL's already caught up to him on what he does. They're faking injuries and getting away with it. That's number one. It's happening. True. It's happening every game now, consistently.
But that happens in college too, though.
But it doesn't matter. We don't see that in the NFL too. You used to see it sometimes at the end of the games until they changed the rules about timeouts. You have an injury to 2 minutes, it's a timeout.
Yeah, you lose timeout.
Yeah, they might have to do that in the middle of the game. Now, injuries are injuries. That's just the way it is. That's Bush League football. But that's the way you got to beat Chip's way. To me, it looks like the NFL wants to put a block into the way he plays his game, because of the way the referees move the ball, the way other teams can do timeouts. They can fake injuries. It's just the idea that, his way was going to get caught up. Like we spoke many times on this show about the NFL, that you might pull your system out here, but eventually the brain trust of this league, the billions of dollars that are put into what gets done in the NFL is going to pick apart your system, and it's not going to last for long. Not for long. The NFL, it's what it stands for. Bottom line.
All right. I understand all that too. And that being said, he still doesn't have a decent quarterback. He doesn't have personnel. He doesn't have personnel, and I kind of picked that apart. 3-4 weeks ago, I said, look, it doesn't matter what quarterback he has. Even with Sanchez coming in, you got a guy that doesn't throw over 50, barely over 50% completions, and then you have a secondary that's not very good. They never played anybody of merit that was good up until that point, and I said that, and I'll stay behind it to the point where I don't blame him for it, because you only have a certain amount of talent that you have, and now you have to go out there and say, what do you need? I that's fine. I didn't expect them to go anywhere this year. I know other people did, and I thought this is where they were going to be. Exactly where they.
No, you didn't think they were not going to.
When they're 9-3, you weren't thinking they're going to be 9-6.
I said that. I stood by what I said at the beginning of the year. I said 9-6, maybe.
Well, you know what? Okay, whatever. There's no glory in the calling that. There's no kudos to that thing. What it is a shame that it happened, because whether you thought it was going to happen or not doesn't really matter. The point is, it shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have had to break down like this. The play calling gets to be ridiculous after a while. How many times can you fake that quarterback rolling out with nothing on the option? Everybody, and I keep saying it every week. You got to stop doing that play. How many times can you see it over and over again as a defense? And no, that ball's not in that quarterback's hand. Bottom line. And, it's obvious that Sanchez can't throw the ball deep, because we haven't seen any deep balls. I can't remember the last deep ball I saw.
His very first play when he came in.
Yeah, that was it. Okay, so, that's the deal there. But, you have to You have to change things around. You just can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's what they did for the last 3 games. Chip's got to slow the game down a little bit. Even though that's what he does, and that's what this offense does, there's a time for it. I keep saying it. There's a time to go fast, and there's a time to slow it down. You don't always have to go up to the line and keep it moving, You got to look at your situation. It's almost like he doesn't look at the situation. He just wants to go, regardless. And you can't do that. In college, that might have worked because you had players on the other side who were discombobulated because you're moving so quick. In the NFL, it's different. These are guys, these are pros. They made it to this point. They know how to deal with this kind of thing. And that's what they're doing with it. It's got to change him. He's got to slow down. Now he can get into these situations to where, hey, you know what? He could be in the second quarter. With 8 minutes left in the quarter, and we're gonna go on our Chip Kelly. We're gonna read option, snap, and go, and then slow it down when you have to. You can't keep your defense on the field the whole game. I don't care how good you are. If you're playing 3/4 of the game on the field, you're burning out by the end. It's the way it is, man. That's human. That's a human being.
Chip hasn't been the best at adjusting.
At all. And I thought he had me fooled from last year into this year, thinking that he was doing that because they were winning football games. And I was fooled by Nick Foles' ability to keep this team in football games with making clutch passes. When you can very well see that Sanchez is what the Jets had, at that time. He's done. He's better than what he was in the Jets. And other than that one interception, you can't complain about anything he did yesterday. He played almost a perfect game yesterday up until that interception. His numbers were crazy. Yeah, but you know what? In key plays, he over tosses, open player. I mean, he has. I'm not even going back to yesterday.
It's just not accurate enough. Yeah. That's the bottom line, and that's my only knock on him. Yeah. If he's not going to throw downfield, okay, I understand that, but you should be able to hit those screens or those other passes that should have been right there. A lot of passes sailed. A lot of passes were off target. And, okay, fine. You can't throw a bomb. But if you're talented enough to do this system, which he might have or might not have the brains to do Chip's system or whatever it is, I just don't see enough accuracy out of him. If you had a quarterback that was maybe a little more accurate, it's a different outcome in the games. And I'm not talking about a lot accurate more. I disagree
because the offense, though it wasn't scoring as much as it could, you got a defense can't stop anybody. Anybody as not just a team, any player, any wide receiver. Let me tell you something. There's receivers out there in the past 3 weeks that I never heard of making plays, running all over the place. No one was defending. No one was tackling in that secondary. I beat bar none. There was hand tackling, pushing, smacking around like nobody gave a shit. Are they that untalented that they couldn't pull that off?
Even after Sanchez's interception, when they still had Washington still had to move the ball 20, 30 yards to get in field goal range. They got more than that.
There was some kind of penalty. That was a bad penalty too. Put him in there.
Yeah, penalty. Yeah, there was a roughing passer, but
I didn't.
Kyrie Williams whiffed on a tackle. Whiffed one-on-one with Pierre Garçon and completely
fired. Whiffed. He's out of here. Fired.
I would love
Fletcher
that.
Fired. Billy Davis fired. Mara McCoo fired.
And I'm fine with all that. I really am. I mean, I got what I wanted out of this season. I didn't.
You got all you wanted out of the season.
I got what I expected out of this season.
Come on, man.
You're a glass half empty kind of guy, aren't you?
You're
a downer.
Man,
I'm a realist. I'm a realist.
A realist?
You're not a realist to say you wanted to be 9-6.
No, I didn't.
You didn't want it. Then you didn't get what you wanted.
I got what I expected. I should have said. I got what I expected. I knew that this team what it was.
I wish we could go back on it. When did you say that? I don't remember that. I remember a little euphoria coming out of the rest of us after the Colts game. We were all excited. They beat the Colts, an unexpected win in Indianapolis. I mean, come on.
I'll find the clip. The clip. I will.
He deleted the archive. It's not there.
Speaking of clips, I like these hats. We're celebrating. This is our final. Well, actually, is our final show today?
No, it's not.
One more show.
It's our holiday show.
Holiday show. And we want to Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year's.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
All that stuff. We don't go through the whole list of crap. You know what I mean?
You got to be politically correct. It's 2014.
What's that?
You got to be politically correct.
Did you just say politically correct to Cashy the King?
Politically correct.
2014. You got to touch them all. You can't say Merry Christmas and not touch the rest of them.
Happy and Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was. You're jumping on my shit here.
Disagree.
Festivus, that's what I get. Me and Georgie Costanzo. What's George's dad's name in this show? Mr.
my
Costanza.
God.
What was his name?
Worst show ever. I've never watched it.
Worst show ever.
I hate that
Oh
show.
my! How did this guy get on the show?
hate that show.
No
I've-
Godfather, no Seinfeld.
No, I've seen episodes. I've been in the room when it happened to be on, and I never broke a smile. Not even one. There's nothing funny
What
about that
Kramer's
show.
never made you smile.
No, not
Giddy
once.
Giddy up.
Not one thing in that show has ever made me go, huh.
I've been
That's
told
funny.
about you, man, and now it's all starting
That
to come
show's
true.
not funny. That show's not funny.
I can pull 100 people, and 98 will say it's funny.
Wow.
Wow. No Godfather, no Seinfeld. I saw him on Facebook today. Oh, when are we going to have the WWF show? Oh, you guys don't do that. Somebody was telling you about.
Yeah, I have people. I have requests.
I request.
I sent him something. I shared something on Facebook. How bad the Undertaker looks now.
I'll
or
tell you
something
what.
like
You
that.
want to do it? You want to do a show? I'll let you come in here and do a show. I won't even be
I'll
here.
research it.
You can sit right
Requests.
here. You can do the whole thing. And
I'll be the cashy.
You know what I'll do? I'll be the engineer. I'll sit over there and just keep
Hide
the
in the
sound
corner.
going.
Hide in the corner.
These hats are hot. These cat. What do they call these? These are
Santa caps.
Santa caps. Yeah, hat caps.
Stocking.
Got
Hat?
Dino got one up there. Look at him. He's beautiful. Listen to Dino.
He's going to sing now, too.
You know what I'm saying? Dino from the dead, we call him. Look at him. He's beautiful.
He looks dead.
Now, shut up. Dino Martin. What are you going to do with that stuff?
Who's Dean Martin? I'm just
That's
kidding.
it. I'm going to throw him out now. we put Vic in his spot.
Beat,
You don't
beat him
I'm
to death
just
with the
kidding.
Godfather
Yeah.
bobblehead.
Put him in the bathroom, B, you know? Yeah, so anyway, the defensive coordinator, he's got to go. I don't care. Yeah, Billy Davis has a track record of screwing up after 2 years everywhere he goes anyway. That's what he does. But what he does do, I think, is he converts teams from the 3-4 to 2-3 or 6-10 or whatever it is, or the 46, whatever it goes. You know what I mean? He's a defensive switch arounder. He does that, and then he can't do nothing after that. It's like a guy who can make it to the playoffs but can't beat anybody else. Davis has got to go. You got to get, what you got to do? When it comes to defense, you got to get old school in there in the defense. Old school. And I understand the league's changing.
Can you still play old school defense though?
No, but you can coach an old school defensive scheme. That's what I'm talking about. The kind,
What you need to do is you need a hybrid and piece out what works today,
Right.
what worked years ago. Because guess what? That's what like a chip offense is. That's what all these offenses are now. All these read options, they're hybrids of what worked in the past, what worked. The thing that gives you the most possibilities, most outcomes, most options is the kind of defense you want to run now. We'll call it the king offense or king defense or something like that.
I don't see an Eagle scheme in their defense. I don't see change. I don't see it being a defense that's hard to read. Unless you're a good quarterback.
You need at least one enforcer. Not like you just need like a James Harrison, a Terrell Suggs.
Absolutely.
Just like the one guy, and I think they thought they were going to get that with Kerry Williams coming from Baltimore.
Yeah,
but he turned out to be such a more of a pansy than they could have imagined.
And when they lost their middle linebacker,
Like
that was a big deal.
Yeah, and I said that when it first happened. I said I think that was a huge injury, but
It's the leader of your defense, basically.
I mean, and he was kind of in that role. But if you get a guy like James Harrison or Terrell Suggs, those kind of guys, they're not going to let you get burnt. Because if you're at the corner and you get burnt, they're going to get in your face and they're going to tell you, man up, get this guy. These guys, I feel like there's no leader right now in this team. There's not one defensively at least.
Give us a call, 267-563-2893. Sports Goombahs smoke phone, wide open for your ranting and beefing, talking anything you want. Don't have to be just sports. It could be anything that interests us. Don't piss us off.
Just don't be Seinfeld.
Yeah. Now, okay. Whole thing, and you're right. You had mentioned something in pre-show here. Howie's been absent. How about that?
Howdy Doody Roseman. Let's talk about this. We put the best product on the field. Gloating for the first 9 weeks, 10 weeks, and I was listening to him. He makes me want to throw up anyway, as far as general managers are concerned. But now, what's he talking about now? When you look at the quality players on defense, did he pick them players? Oh, now it's not about him. Now it's Chip Kelly's players. It's great how these guys.
From what I've always heard, it has been Chip's guys this whole time.
Well, if it is, then he shouldn't be gloating how he puts the best product on the field when he's being interviewed. I don't think. I think a problem with the general manager. He's not a football guy, although they say it's all about money now and putting dollars together. Still got to be somewhat of a football guy to be a general manager of a football.
Got to be at least be a fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if
he's
a fan.
I'm sure he is.
I don't know if he is.
I don't think he's a fan. I think he's mechanical. He's a yes man for Jeffrey Lurie. He's brought in there to take over someone else's job, and he's a money manager who happens to be the general manager. And when you hear a general manager like him make football remarks, football decisions, it makes you feel it's part of what the team is. I don't think he's not. There's kind of toughness to you to be involved with football. I'm tired of wimpy people. You gotta be a little tough. You gotta have some. The owners, they don't have to be because they're owners. I mean, I'm looking at right now. I'm looking over here on Yahoo, and I'm watching the interviewing. No sound, but the Jerry Jones. I mean, this guy thinks he's got a Super Bowl team right now. He is bloating around, bloviating, spitting on everybody. He even got more facial work done overnight. He thinks he's getting glamorified, so he's going to be in Arizona this year with his Dallas Cowboys, who don't make it past the first round of the playoffs. They might get a bye. I don't know if they can get a bye. They can get a bye, I think.
They can still get a bye.
They can still get a bye.
They can?
Yeah. If the Packers lose.
Who do they have?
If the Packers lose, yeah, I think.
But the Packers, anybody can lose. I'm just saying that's how they can get a bye.
I don't know the tiebreak between them, Green Bay and Detroit.
Either way, the bottom line is Jerry's going to get his playoff in his spaceship finally, and he's beside himself. I don't think he changed his suit in 2 days. I don't think he knows. He's just parading around everybody talking about it. When his team is for Gazy, man, come on, they're going to get beat. I mean, would they beat?
The first time they play,
Stuck to me. I didn't sit. I played. No idea the Colts weren't playing luck yesterday. No idea.
He played. He just played awful.
Oh, they took him out.
They took him out because he was awful.
I put it in the second half, and he was gone.
Because he was that bad.
I mean, they didn't need that game at all.
They didn't. No, I mean for seeding they needed. Of course they needed it because they could have theoretically they could have still got a bye had Cincinnati won.
Fantasy on that one, man.
Yeah, I think
they would need Denver to lose like 2 in a row in order for.
Then,
but there's a possibility. I'm just saying, there's a possibility. What, for Dallas to get?
No.
Indy.
So they had something to play for, but he was just so bad they said, "All right, screw it."
No, Dallas can still get a bye. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, they get a bye, but then regardless of what their bye, boo, whatever, Dallas, they're going down in the first round. I mean,
well, forget a bye, they're not.
Stinking Tony Romo. Now speaking of Tony Romo, now we don't got no Patriots saying because Johnny Fraudball got buried yesterday like a pancake. This guy.
That didn't take long.
There's no way this guy makes it to the NFL. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to get a defensive line built so big that he can't see over him. Or if they don't get a defensive line big enough, he's going to get crushed because they're going to get by him. So there's no win for this guy. He doesn't have it. He's not an NFL quarterback. I don't care if it's just 1 or 2 games. You can see it, man. You can see it by the way he got.
I mean, you can only go off of what he's done, and in the NFL, he's over 2. He's been awful 2 straight times.
I kind of wished because it would have made for great entertainment that if Dallas would have gotten him. If maybe Jerry Jones' son left the room for I didn't know it was our pick, and all we come back, oh shit, we got Johnny Fraudball.
But he would have started, but he wouldn't have playing over there.
I know, but it would have been.
But it wouldn't matter. He would have been playing behind Romo for 3 years. That's why they nixed the whole thing because he wasn't about to. Manziel wasn't about to wait 4 years to play ball, regardless. But when they put in a situation where they replaced him for Hoyer, which isn't what did make a difference. It made it worse. The way I see it,
Hoyer's been bad. He's been just as bad.
Just as bad, but at least Hoyer can see over the offensive line, man, at some sort. And Manziel, he's snapping the ball and running. It's like hike and run, man, for your life. Well, it's good comedy.
It's like Pee-wee.
And even yesterday, they went and they kind of backed off the love. It was definitely. I watched a little bit of that on the internet of the game.
What I hear, which floored me, was Merrill Reese on the radio talking about how bad he was and how he in his commentary, and there was a little hashtag, I guess, segment for before the game on Sunday, and it was on the radio, and he's like, he has no place in professional football. He's not. I was like, wow. It's early to say. There.
It's early to say he has no place in professional football, but he's been awful on 2 separate occasions. So
yeah, he could work the chart on the 3rd string. He could work the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could do interviews, set the chairs up, shit like that. Stuff that you can't get hurt doing. Right.
Get the donuts in the water, coffee, shit like that.
You just can't keep running the ball. He's got. Well, it's not to say that he can't be tutored, he can't be taught. It's the NFL. He's got a couple years, but But the thing is, in this league now, it doesn't work like that anymore. You don't get 4 or 5 years to become good. You have to show something fast and work with that quick. Doesn't work like that. You don't get 5. Like we've been saying for a long time, you don't get 5 years to build a football team anymore. You get 3 years, and that seriously isn't enough time for anybody. But that's just the way it is. So the teams that can do that in 3 years, can build their football team in 3 years, are the ones that win. That's just the way it is. Coaches last for 3 or 4 years the most. I mean, that's how football is now.
Or you get lucky like Seattle. Like nobody's eyes were on them for a couple of years, and all
no,
of a sudden,
no. Seattle built when they came to the first. They built themselves up. They lost the first round.
It was more than 5
in fact,
years.
They lost in that Falcon game, which they should have lost that
day.
They won 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Falcon game.
Isn't that the Falcon?
The game when they were the 7-9 team.
Right, yeah. So I meant they were. They
played. It was New Orleans.
I meant they beat. Didn't they beat Atlanta?
No, it was New Orleans. They were.
And then they lost to Atlanta the following week.
I don't know who they lost.
And they should have lost to Atlanta that following week. That was the whole thing. And Atlanta got beaten. Whatever they.
That being said, my whole point was nobody was really like that. Was more than 3 years they were putting that team together. They got lucky.
No, B's exactly. It's a 3-year build for them. The third year they went to the Super Bowl. First season they got knocked out. Second season they got knocked out. And the third season they went in. It was a 3-year run for Seattle in the Super Bowl. Regardless,
I thought they were building it longer than that.
No, Seattle. Because Russell Wilson was a rookie 2 years ago.
Okay. No,
right?
I'm wrong.
Yeah, this is Russell Wilson.
He wasn't on that 7-9 playoff team. I don't think he was.
Yeah, that's 4 years, isn't it?
Right. Somebody got injured, and he came in for them.
He came in for Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But I don't think that was. I don't think that 7-9 playoff team was Russell Wilson. I don't think he was there yet.
That's what I mean. It was 4 years ago, right?
No, 3 years ago. The 3-year run.
Either way, who cares?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I'm just saying it. That seemed like it was more than 4 years.
That's the point I'm trying to make. There's your length of time to get up there. It's simple. It's the way it is. And with the Eagles, it was kind of working just like that. First year, Chip made the playoffs. Second year, you're supposed to make the playoffs, maybe get knocked out in the second or third round, depending on where you're seated. And then you work on to that third year is the year you're supposed to make. It happened with Andy Reid with the Eagles. They climbed the ladder until they got to the championship game. They just kept losing championship games, but eventually they got there. They just took a little longer. They used a ladder with a step stool.
They're playing shoots and ladders.
Came
down a couple times.
But that's the same. That's the same deal. If you just look at some of it. Very rarely does a team just go to the Super Bowl and win it.
Unless you're Peyton Manning.
Exactly, and that's like they
didn't win it, but they went to it in 1 year.
But if you look at Denver, the prior year with Tebow, they made it to the playoffs.
That's a whole different.
But I'm just saying,
I'm
saying that the build was there, the defense was there, the offense was there. Regardless how you do it, that's how the team.
They were missing one key piece.
Well, yeah, because the team it's more than just a quarterback. A team, you had the rest of it. Like you look at even with Seattle, that defense can continually win for the next couple of years if they keep it together, which they won't after this year.
It is more than just a quarterback, but you need a quarterback to be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah,
like all these teams that you're saying they did, X year 1, year 2, then year 3 they got there. They all had quarterbacks though. You had Roethlisberger, or you had Manning, or you had Brady, you had Rodgers, you had Wilson. Do the Eagles have anything like that? And
no,
they don't.
And that begs my next question. Now, what are your draft needs? Because you're not.
Your draft needs are not quarterback. That's
exactly.
Sure.
And I'm saying I'm saying this because, and I have had this argument many times this week with people. Because you're going into, you can make the argument that you lost 2 or 3 games just on your secondary alone.
Your draft needs have to be secondary.
Everything. 1, 2, 3, and 4, man.
Now there are people going, we need a quarter. I'm like, no, you can't. You can't trade away everything. Trade away. I said, you don't really have anything of value. Even Shady McCoy is probably got 2 years left.
In the NFL, there's no such thing as trade value in NFL.
Exactly, and that's what I keep telling everybody. You sign a free agent here and there now, and your drafting is where you get your talent anymore. 1, 2 years, you need somebody 2 or 3 corners or safeties, some secondary to come in here and make a difference right away. Anything has to be better than what was put out on the field this year.
Yeah,
and because I'm not a stats guy, but 12-3, that's what Foles is, and if you can get through 1 or 2 more years with Foles until you find your quarterback that you're looking for in the draft, because you're not getting anybody coming out of this next year.
You don't get to do that, though, because your rest of your team is progressing. Now your running back's 3 years older, and before you know it, you get your quarterback. Now you got pieces
This is
missing.
good timing because you got, like I said, 2 years left on Shady. That's it. he's going to be 28, 29.
Yeah, and what makes you think in 2 years they're going to be they're going to have either have to develop a quarterback or get one in the draft? And if they keep winning to a even if it's an 8-8 type of winning, they're never going to have that opportunity to get that quarterback. What happened here was that a new coach came in there and didn't bring his man in, didn't get the draft. Typically, when a team gets a new coach, it's because they're rotten.
Yes.
And they're down there and they're in the draft position. The Eagles weren't, I think Andy Reid ran.
Well, they were rotten when they.
Yeah, but he won too many games. Well, 4-12 was two games too many that year when you had two teams that only had 2 wins. So that was the difference in getting your quarterback. That was the difference in what was it, an RG3 or a Luck, right? So that's the difference. Anyway, let's take a break. I had a couple shouts. I want to make a shout to my man Jesse from South Philadelphia, a new listener who did me a nice solid today, Jess. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And Jody, you're out there eating them cookies, man. Of course you're falling asleep. Eating cookies all day. What do you expect? Probably dropping Oreos down your left and right. Got to knock that stuff up. It's bad for the stomach. I know. I used to have that Oreos type stuff. Look at this. The chef's, Mrs. Chef.
Cookies.
Look at that. Beautiful cookies. Every year she gives me cookies. You even get there. You give Mikey a little batch this year. You know? What do you think that's sitting over there?
Little guy?
Yeah, in front of the picture of
nobody gets as much as Cassie the King. Okay?
Well, you know what I mean?
I can't compete.
Remember last year we were gobbling these down, pat the back, we were grabbing them off the table, like nutcases.
He looked like he was in a cell with Cookie Monster in a rehab cell by the time we were done with that.
Sports Goombahs radio webcast live here at the 515 studios in Bucks County, PA. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. It's Cassie King at Sports Goombahs, and just look us up at Sports Goombahs on Facebook. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back after these words.
Hey, it's Pat out of the Sports Goombahs Show. Let me tell you all about our friend Larry Gilman and his company, Larry Gilman Direct. When you need apparel for your business, he is the solution. T-shirts, staff shirts, jackets, hats, banners, and custom welcome mats, and much more. Check out LarryGilman.biz or call 267-908-3863. Hey, and check this out. Larry can set you up to accept credit cards for your company with no LarryGilman.biz or call 267-908-3863.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
Stop paying your bookie each week and start collecting. They have the best handicappers in the world, all in one place. And their only job is to win you money. Check Jeff Brandes and all the experts at trendbetting.com. Trend betting theory is simple. Trends dominate in sports, and you will win in the long run by following the dominant trend. You will lose in the long run if you buck the dominant trend. Simple enough. That's trendbetting.com. Hey, are you paying the piper again? You owe the guy? Busted by the book? Let's end that aggravation right now. BestSportsPicksToday.com. Best Sports Picks Today offers free picks from 50 of the best sports handicappers in America today. Daily selections from NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, MMA, the ponies, and even golf action every day of the week. Best Sports Picks Today not only has few of the best handicappers working for them, we also have the best in the nation working with them. Get you high quality picks for free every day. BestSportsPicksToday.com. Check them out and start winning now. Sports Goombahs, Cassidy King here. I got my chef to the Brendan B. Mikey Walls, wall banging on the side here. Like that, huh? Mikey the wall banger. We're going to call him something, right? You don't have no Santa hat. He don't have no Santa hat.
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah. See, we're getting to the pick session here. I'm looking at what the pick session here. I'm looking at what I did last week. I'm falling apart, man.
You tried though, right? You tried.
It's getting to the point with me where retirement is inevitable for the most part.
Mikey did pretty good again, right?
2-0.
2-0. That works.
And Jeff Brandeis.
I don't know what he did, man. I don't know what he's got. A whole week things are going on. He didn't call in last week, so I didn't know what plays he had up. Give us a call.
You called him last week, didn't you?
Yeah. He called me and gave us plays last week. 267-563-2893 is the Sports Goombahs smoke phone. Give us a call. You got something to rant and beef about. Give us your plays. Maybe somebody out there's got better picks than I do. This part. Last week we lost everything. The only thing I caught wind on was on the and it was one big fart too, was the San Diego game, which stopped me from being totally blown away. I lost the hockey. The Green Bay game, the side total was off. Indianapolis got destroyed by Dallas. San Diego's the only one. Even the Flyers ended up beating Tampa Bay last Tuesday night and blew that away. What are you going to do that? This is the pick session, and it's brought to you by trendbetting.com. You know them, you love them. They're one of the best out there. They advertise on the Sports Goombahs show, and you can check them out at trendbetting.com, home of the one and only Jeffrey Brandeis, our own Jeffrey Brandeis, putting out plays every day, always 60% or more with that guy. He's incredible because this is what he does. This is what he focuses on, picking winners. Trendbetting.com. All right, I'm going into next week's NFL action. You can call it that. Trying to find a game that makes a difference out there. And I'm looking at the Eagles and the Giants. Here's a game that doesn't make a difference, but the way Eli's been throwing to his wide receiving crew, and with this secondary, I see the Giants scoring their 28 points they need for their side total, which isn't out yet, but I do think that'll be the number. 28 is going to be the number. The -3, I think the Giants are going to win this game by more than 3. I like both sides, like the Giants -3, and I like the 28. This Giant team has got some weapons. They're young and they're building, and this is a team that's going to have to be reckoned with next year a little bit. Defensively, they're hurting, just like everybody else in the East there. As far as I'm concerned, and the hell with defense. You need to score in this league now.
I know we gave some flack for Odell Beckham and all the love he was getting, but he's been good. On fire.
He's the best wide receiver in football
for 2
right
straight
now.
months.
Yeah,
and he is going to torch the Eagles second.
Eagles.
I like the Giants pick right there.
Yeah, even triple covered, he's going to torch the Eagles because he can jump higher than any of them.
It doesn't matter.
And he only needs 2 fingers to catch it. So
and they're not going to triple cover him anyway.
Yeah, regardless, because they got other receivers on this team that can play as well. And like I said, when Cruz comes back next year, injured or not, he's still a player. There's still someone who can catch the ball. He even becomes a third receiver on this team. Regardless, the Giants are in a good spot right now on a division that has a Fugazi Cowboy team, an Eagle team. We don't know what's happening. Washington is
they're Washington.
They're Washington. I don't even know what they are anymore.
They're still owned by Daniel Snyder, right?
Yeah, and as long as they're owned by Daniel Snyder, they're one step better than Jerry Jones. Bottom line. I like that game. I like the Giant game, a game that means nothing but means everything to New York as far as I'm concerned right now.
Yeah.
The other one is Detroit at Green Bay. Detroit, to me, they're not primetime players yet. Good defense. I just don't think their quarterback is ready to step up, even though he's got a weapon he should be stepping up on, but he just doesn't seem to be able to do it often enough. So I like the Packers. I like the over the side total this one, which also should be 28, maybe 28, 29. I don't know, 27, 28, 29. Either way, the side total is where it's going to be. Going into Green Bay is tough for great teams when Green Bay is doing good. And you have Detroit here who's fighting for a positioning in the playoffs at this point, but it's the wrong spot, wrong time for them. No, this time of year, when you go into Green Bay and the Packers are playing well and Aaron Rodgers is on his game, especially at home, you don't have a chance here. The line's 7. I don't like to mess with the lines too often, so I don't. But I like the side total of 28 just in case Detroit gets lucky. But if they do, it's going to be a real high-scoring game if they get lucky. So those are the 2 plays I like, hoping to get me back on track before the playoffs start. And I got to start moving over to the NHL. As you can see, I have my throwback John LeClair because basically, I think with John LeClair uniform, it's the last time the Flyers had a decent score on this team would be from John LeClair. So I don't have a hockey game this week. I really haven't looked at it. The NHL has me befuddled right now. I can't get I'm loving Detroit right now as a team, a scoring team, because they're starting to play well. They were playing well a couple of weeks ago, then they went down a little bit, back up. It's back and forth, and I can't find somebody in the NHL right now who's well, actually I can. They're called the New York Islanders, but I can't believe it. They're this good.
You refuse to believe it.
I refuse to believe my mush is that good. Now they're winning games 1-0 now. Now they're playing defense. They're scoring, playing defense, and I still can't name anybody on this team.
Nope.
So here's my 2 plays.
Who's their GM?
I got the New York Giants minus the 3. I like the side total on that. I want the Packers, over the 28, 27 side total in that game. I'm leaning to that 7. It's a 7.5 right now. I don't like that line. I don't know why I don't like that line because I don't like lines, but I hate hooks. I hate hooks on 7. Hooks and 7 come back to haunt you for the most part. Mike, you got to play?
Yeah, I got my play of the day.
2-0 now since I started giving you your time on the show to give plays.
Exactly.
Trying to show me up a little bit.
The
money
writing's on the wall.
But I do like a little closer. I do like the Falcons this week. They're minus 3.5 against Carolina. I don't believe Carolina could possibly be a playoff team. They're also at home, obviously, Atlanta. So take the Falcons in the dome minus 3.5. They're going to playoffs. They're winning the AFC or the NFC South.
You believe that team is going to the playoffs? I mean,
one of those two have to.
But but with that kind of record, you know what I mean? It's to think that the NFL can put teams. What does that mean? Does that mean the NFL the parity is so good? It's so together now that teams, you don't have to have a winning record to get in the NFL. It's been happening now. In the last 10 years, the Jets did it 1 year, right? And course,
obviously the Seahawks we just talked about.
Seahawks did it. Trying to think who else got in there. I think I know there's a couple other ones that happened in the past 10 years. Well, this year it's pathetic. And the whole division can't win. They beat up on each other and they lost everybody outside of the division.
Also keep in mind Atlanta 5-0 in the division too. So
yeah,
keep that in mind.
So
the thing about the Falcons, there's scoring power there. They are. I mean, Matty Ryan can get hot, in a game. He doesn't do it too many times in a row, but he's got receivers. He's got players on that team that can hurt somebody if they get there.
That is going to be. I mean, I don't want to. Cause I don't think Carolina is legit in any way, shape, or form. So I wouldn't say a team going to Carolina first round of playoffs can be dangerous. But I think a team going into Atlanta in the first round of playoffs could be tough.
Yeah,
it could be a tough team for a game for the Lions if they had to go there as a wild card team. That's definitely a game that they could win a game. Is
that going to happen? I mean, the old divisions get division.
No matter what your record is, if you're the 4th.
I thought the low record division winner has to play a wild card game. No,
they
changed that.
3 and 4 seeds both play wild card games, but they're home.
They're home, right?
So even though the winner is going to be 7 and 9.
So there's a scenario that's.
Let's say the 11 and 5
the
Lions.
Green Bay Packers or Lions could travel.
If
it's
the Lions,
be one of those two.
Yeah, it is. If the Lions win, let's say the Lions win this week, the Packers could be the road team against the Falcons in the playoffs.
That's trouble. That's high scoring. But that's trouble.
That's just.
Man. You know what I need? I need the Falcons to make a run here because it'd be good material. If they could make the Super Bowl with winning 7 games,
they would I think they'd finally be a winning record if they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
I think they tally it up. If they lose the Super Bowl, I think they would be a 500. They'd still end up a 500 team.
Yeah, for the season. Yes,
that's amazing. I think in a perfect world they should tie that way because the Panthers get in at 6-8-2. That's a playoff team for you right there. That's my play of the week.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what happens. You're 2-0. You're getting a little bit of a run.
Now, if only I actually did this in real life.
Yeah. 267-563-2893. Next caller calls in, gets a Sports Goombahs t-shirt. Like the one hanging on the wall. Well, it used to be hanging. Not the Carmichael shirt, but nobody's wearing a Goombahs shirt today. Like the one hanging here in front underneath the Don. And then the freaking... speaking of this guy.
Dr. Evil.
You see Dr. Evil?
He was on SNL this week. Yeah, he made his return.
He surprised me. It looked pretty good. It looked just like him,
The scar was deeper than I remember. Yeah. They were a little heavy on the makeup.
Well, I don't know. Mike Myers is all fatted out now.
Yeah.
So they had to suck him in a little bit.
He looked a little bloated in that. He was coming out of his suit or whatever it is. But I enjoyed that. I don't know you still watch that. I always watch that. I watch it every week.
It's part of my bachelorism. Saturday night out there for the chase, Other than that, the show stinks.
They're hard to watch anymore.
Yeah, they are. They're not, the comedy.
It's hit or miss, but I mean, I've been watching it for the last 7 years or so. When everyone's like, "Oh, it used to be,"
Yeah.
But I was like, "But it's still got its moments. It really does."
To me, I like the opening when they do the political stuff, or they do what's going in the current events. That seems to be the best part of the show these days.
I'll watch it anytime that Timberlake's on it because
he's hilarious.
He's freaking hysterical on it.
He's I would call him a triple
Lady
threat.
Gaga was on it
like
too, and they were.
He's
like a 5 threat. Like he literally can do anything.
He's willing to do everything they ask him. Anything. He
can sing, dance, act. He's funny. I mean, he's got it all.
Yeah, you put something like this. You put Amy Adams on this week. I mean, she's a good actress. She's in a lot of movies. She does. She's really is a good actress. But I don't need to see her singing Christmas songs. Everybody coming out, and then it's just different. You need that supporting cast. I mean, you don't remember the original, right? Were you alive?
Not the original. No, but that's
even alive.
But again,
you weren't even alive to an original, were you?
No, I wasn't.
That's weird.
Well, the show's this is 40th year. Obviously, I'm not 40 years old. So.
You know what I meant. You didn't see it. And the funny thing is, the sad thing is, you can't get copies of that first year. There's nowhere to see it. Even on YouTube, you can't get.
You can probably get it on Netflix.
Well, you can't. It's
maybe
so that first year is locked away. Someone has the rights. That's why you never see it. When you see all those Saturday night reruns on different shows, VH1, you never see the Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Bill Murray ones. It's always and even the Eddie Murphy ones are cut. You don't see that too many either.
Yeah, he might.
Well, those aren't the original. Those are like 90s.
That's a 5-year difference. I mean, Eddie Murphy came on right after the end of
88.
Wait, it was the next black guy that took over when what's his name left?
Garrett Morris.
Garrett Morris left. That was the fill in. Back in the day when everything wasn't politically correct, we were able to say the next black guy that came in there. But now it's it's a different story.
The next black guy. I can't believe you just said that so calmly.
But you have to, man. It is what it is. I mean, come on. You get NCAA, you're gonna come at me, Al Sharpton gonna come in front of the studio and start yelling at me for something.
Did you say the NCAA? So the NCAA is going to come get you? The college governing body is going to come get you?
What did I say to you?
You said NCAA.
Sweet 16. We're going to go March Madness on them.
Oh, man. It's Evan. Yeah, I want to get into that. But, I got to tell you, that thing that New York Yankees did about those two-shot cops. We talk about, people getting shot with guns and stuff. What?
What do the Yankees do?
They bought the education for the kids of the cops that were shot.
It's nice of them.
Yeah.
That they're going to pay for their college.
Good Yankee PR,
That whole situation, man. I don't know how much you guys want to get into it, but man,
it's getting tough.
It's insane.
It
really is insane.
It's a sign of the times, but it's what it is. The thing is, and I'll go back to it, and I don't want to get onto a tangent about this because it's not what we do, but it's part of what we live in here. I mean, it goes back to the cameras, the video, the media, the need for stories, the hype everything gets at this point. Nothing gets done in this world without it being video. So
it's the me generation.
Yeah, exactly right. It's
what's in it for me.
Exactly, and it's got nothing to do with race, color, anything like that. Because let's face it, once you strip the skin, and everything, we're all the same skin, the bones. We're all the same bones. Once you take off the costume, so to speak. So what's the difference? It's just mental instability of the average person. That's the only I can think about it. See no color, have no fun. You know what I mean?
There you go.
We covered the Eagles. Is there anything else you want to talk about the Eagles? They're done with us. They're no more material. I mean, they're done. Chip finally has let us down. And B will tell us. We've been, the chef and I have been talking about since we left the radio station back in the day that was great how Chip Kelly and these Eagles give us material every Sunday, regardless, win, loss, or whatever. Good material, something crazy happens. Just the way it was. And now we're done.
It got boring.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah. It's over for this year, and now we have to wait till next year for him to. And he's got to pull something out of his hat. He can't take what he has into next year. There's more film on him now, and you can see from last year and this year the way the teams react to the hurry up offense, the way his team falls apart, where the defense is on the field too much. So this is precisely why it's a college offense. You can do this in college because you're playing against guys who aren't going to be in the NFL. You're never going to have a chance. You're playing against a team on the other side. No one on that team has a chance to make it to the NFL, really, if you look at the numbers. So against a team that everybody's here now. So you do the math. It's just not going to work out. I want it to work out because I like the exciting football of it, but it's bending the rules because of the speed of the game. It's changing the athlete himself to how he has to get himself prepared. I mean, if you're a defensive lineman and you're on the field, you're 275, 300 pounds, and you're on the field the whole game, getting hit more plays than you need to get hit. It's going to beat you up at the end of the game, and you're not going to be able to make plays in the fourth quarter. It's sports. It's a matter, every sport wears you down at the end of the game, except hockey, where it just gets stronger.
I think though, point taken with that, but I think though in this particular instance, you got to have a secondary that's going to make those routine plays or make plays, any kind of play. Because if you take, I can think of 3 instances where if it's not a friggin' pass interference, a holding, or whatever the hell it is, it's just a shit play and it broke down. You're seeing guys stop a slant or something like that, and somewhere downfield it's a holding because they're horrible. The system might work in that instance, but because your secondary was so bad, they're caught, and they took a lot of penalties.
Yeah, any system can work if you have good enough talent.
If you have, I'm talking any kind of talent above. Give me average corners. Don't give me subpar corners. Give me average corners or secondary. I'm not looking for friggin' Sherman out there. Just give me somebody who's 75% of Sherman. That would be an average player.
You know what I want to see? I want to see one corner blitz.
Yeah.
I mean something different on that defense. Instead of the same plays every time. It's almost like from watching the Eagles play football every week, like we do because this is our hometown. You're seeing the same plays over and over. You're seeing the same defensive moves, the same changes. I don't think we had one corner blitz the whole year.
My question is,
it's just a change. It's something different to look
Jimmy
at.
Johnson was here for how many years? Did not one person pick up what he was doing and be his heir apparent? There was no all these coaches have head coaches have their little trees of guys that learn from them. Did not one person?
Where is he? He's
Spagnuolo.
McDermott.
Yeah, McDermott went.
Spagnuolo.
McDermott was thrown. He was
thrown to the Wolves.
Well, not to throw to the Wolves. He was understudy, but he wasn't.
Was he the one? Who was he the one who did the wide 9? Was that his?
No,
idea?
that was that goofball from last 2 years.
That was
he's defensive coordinator.
The offensive line
Carolina
coach turned.
McDermott.
That was Castillo, though.
McDermott.
Who's offensive line coach?
No, defensive coordinator is McDermott in Carolina, right?
He's somewhere, but it was Castillo who was the.
And he got fired.
Coordinator.
He went from offensive line coach to defensive coordinator.
Speaking of Andy Reid, he got lost in the mix. His team stinks. What did he do to that football
team?
Fine.
They were fine, but going into Pittsburgh's tough.
Yeah, but their record's terrible, man. They're out of the playoffs. They're done.
I don't think that theoretically. I think they're still alive.
It's Andy Reid. He's got 1 game to go. He's out of the playoffs. And regardless,
technically they're still in the hunt.
Yeah, he's a disappointment over there.
I did want to make one last point about the Eagles game, and I've been literally begging and calling for this all year. It was give Zach Ertz the ball. And they finally gave it to him, and they gave it to him, and they gave it to him, and they gave it to him. He looked great yesterday.
My freaking tight end, I had him. I drafted him.
He was on my bench. I had him, but But I mean, that's what I've been waiting for all year. He's a legit receiving target, and it's not Riley Cooper who had a good game, obviously 2 touchdowns, but Zach Ertz could have been doing this all year if you just gave him the ball. I feel like I never saw him on the field, so hopefully that's something to look for. Hopefully we see that week 17 and going forward next year.
Let's go to the phones. Sports Goombahs radio webcast. Welcome to the show.
Hey, this is Joe.
Hey, Joe. What's going on?
What's going on, guys? Listening to the show. There you're talking about the Eagles, the secondary issue, quarterback, non-quarterback. The Eagles are in a tough situation. I've been listening to sports talk all day, blah, blah, blah. Everybody keeps starting, we need Revis. Last time the Eagles took a 29-year-old quarterback, ended up being Nami Osmar, gave us 1 solid season, and that was it. Revis is going to want a huge contract. Antonio Cromartie heard him all day. He's 30.
No.
No, it's time for something new and young.
Anybody who's out there pretty much is old. I mean, we're not. They may be great now, but they're going to want long-time contracts.
We can't worry about the money. It's not for us to worry about the money. I mean, we as fans, the money is what it is. I mean, I do what I can to pick apart that Seattle secondary or anybody's available, regardless, just to get the.
That's the thing is Byron Maxwell is.
Yeah.
I have no problem throwing money at him. He's 26 years old.
Right.
But do, what Howie Roseman likes to do, is Howie Roseman's going to say, oh, Darrell Revis is available, 5-year contract, $14 million a year. That's what he's going to do. You know? And that's what's going to bother me is we're going to dime our money in the older guys, put their names and how good they were. Do with Nambi Oswald, Asante Samuel. Well, Asante Samuel gave us a few good years.
I don't think
He was so good when he left.
Joe, I don't think as much as I dislike Harry Roseman and him being a football guy, I don't think Chip Kelly is going to want old vets in here. Especially because of the way he's running things and old dog new trick stuff. I mean, this is not a place. First of all, it's not a place Revis wants to come to. Number one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, but I'm still confused with who makes these decisions. Because Chip Kelly says he makes the decisions. He knows that our offense or our defense is terrible and didn't do anything to change it. He moved back in the draft, didn't take anybody in the draft.
He did. He picked the first rounder, but
he picked the wrong guy.
It's just the wrong guy.
I mean, if you're going to move back, great. You move back to move up in the second round to take Jordan Matthews, fine, great, whatever. But there were so many options out there that could have helped us. Clinton Dix played well all season. Buchanan played well all season.
We didn't have a shot at Clinton Dix, though.
Endless options compared to the clown that we took who's never going to play, may never play ever again. They never play again in the NFL.
Right.
He's that bad, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, too, and what bothers me mostly is that, who's making the decision? Who's watching the football action? I mean, I don't like when my coach is acting like a general manager, even though he's not. I need somebody out there who's watching players. I mean, a general manager, a player person. Who's our player personnel guy? We don't have one, do we? This team. Yeah, well, he can't. He can't. As a rookie NFL coach, that's not a job for a guy coming out of college to do. And he still has to learn the system. He still, and I didn't realize that at first. Now I'm thinking about it, and I'm wondering here. You're still trying to contort yourself to the NFL, to the way things are done, to the other players, the old boy network, and you're, mingling with people, players and stuff like that, and you want to go to hospitals to see injured players and all that other stuff, and you're picking talent too, and deciding who goes on this team. That's a problem I have right now. Now that I'm thinking about it. He should not be a player personnel guy. He should coach what's put in front of him. They need to bring in somebody who can do this kind of thing. You need to bring in a person who knows how to pick talent. And what are they saving dollars by not having that person?
Well, I never have a problem with the coach being the guy who picks the guy, just because it's your team, your system, your coaching. Wouldn't you want your people in place?
Yeah, but I
and that way you can't point your finger saying, "Well, you gave me this."
Not at this point. Not at this point. I think I don't believe when you're a rookie coach, if you're a veteran coach in this,
it's a lot for a rookie coach to handle.
Yeah, you're a veteran coach. I mean, you're Parcells. You're coming to a team to coach. You can do that because you know the league. You've been around. When you're a rookie coach coming in the NFL and you have all these other responsibilities, that's not going to work. That's not going to work in the way, the speed of not just the game, but the speed of how the NFL works in general, day-to-day operations of the NFL team. To have your coach who has to be out there on the field, making sure he puts the right players in the right spot and bring them in and research the challenge. And don't tell me it's off-season bullshit either, because that's not enough. I don't want to hear about going down to combines and picking your players in the combine, which to me is the stupidest thing in the world that the NFL does with this combine crap. I don't learn nothing about an NFL player.
People get hyped up in the combine who weren't that good. People like Marcus Smith or,
right.
Leather. Oh, great. He ran a 4.240 as a linebacker. We need him.
Right. And he's jumping up there and he's tapping birds out of the sky.
The combine should be used for.
Pads and everything on that changes the whole aspect of the game.
Exactly.
The combine should be.
You can jump, 10 feet in the air. Put pads on, something that's going to restrain you. A whole uniform, you might only be able to jump 8 feet in the air. Whatever. Just throwing examples out.
Joe, I want to see mental state too. I want to see a guy who can think when he's on the field. I don't care if you have the best talent in the world.
They have the Wonderlic test.
What the hell is that?
You ever heard of the Wonderlic test? That's a test they take to determine your mental.
Lollipop?
No. I mean, no.
Your mental
I don't even
capacity.
care about that. I want a mental. I want play. I want to see a guy when he's in the realm of playing. What his decision making is.
That's what I was trying to say before. Is the combine should be used for what it is finding out how fast you are, how high you know, just as like a measurable thing. Yeah. It shouldn't be the be all end all. No, what you do on the field should matter more.
Selling tickets to the goddamn thing for people to come watch this stuff now.
Oh, it's part of it. And we made jokes about
NFL
it.
Network plays it 24/7 over the combine.
I mean, we're all guilty of it. We all know the NFL has a way of keeping itself in the highlights, even in the off season. They put themselves out there. They're good at it.
Yeah.
You can't bash them for being a marketing machine.
It's a year-round sport now.
It is, and that's what they do. I don't wonder like
no, it's a year-round show. It's not a year-round sport. It's a year-round show.
People buy like in all this crap, and they just want to advertise, and that's all it is. The combine this day, the combine that day, it's crap. Nobody wants. It really means nothing, because people who go to the combine are guys who probably weren't going to get drafted. Now they might get drafted in the 5th, 6th, or whatever round later because all right, this guy showed a little bit of promise because last year or we'll go 2-3 years ago. Did Andrew Luck go to the combine? No. Andrew Luck knew he was going to
Fletcher was there, huh?
No. Your star players don't go to this crap because it's crap.
Right.
And then you got the guys who have a bad combine and they drop 5 rounds, and those are just. He played great all year, but his combine numbers weren't that great. Well, I mean, that's if you put a bank on the combine, good luck to you. That's when you end up with Mike Mamula and whatever this guy we have this year is, Malcolm or whatever, Mike Smith. I don't know his name.
Yeah, Mike Smith. Yeah. I don't know. Well, hey Joe, appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling in. Check this out. You have a Merry Christmas there, right? And
get him a shirt. You call.
Hey, yeah, Big Joe, you get your shirt. We'll make sure to. Yeah, you get a shirt, man. What size are you?
Small now.
Extra large. An extra large. Extra heavy duty.
Man after my own heart.
That's all right. We'll get one to you. We'll get that. Mikey Walsh will take care of you on that one. You got it. No
I got
problem.
you, Joe.
One more thing.
Sure.
They need to tell Nate Allen to goodbye and let Earl Wolf get a shot and bring Brandon Boykin in and tell Bradley Fletcher never to see the field ever again.
At this point, put all the backups in. Why not?
For next year. Boykin let's go back to what I said a few weeks ago with Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel's the only guy you have left. If you're out of the playoffs, you got to put him in. He's the only guy you have on the roster.
Right.
Boykin's on the roster next year. Get him in there, see what he got for the last game.
Yeah.
Let him play Odell Beckham if you have to. Get him out there.
Right. And here's and you make a good point. You make a good.
Wolf needs to get out there. Nate Allen stinks. We know that Nate Allen.
Put that first round linebacker out there. Why not?
Yeah, you make a good point because you know what, and because the Giants are going to come to play this week, so it'd be a good measuring stick to see what you have because Giants intend on going out and winning this football game. Because that's the mission they're on. Yeah, exactly right. No, I agree 100%. Appreciate the call, man.
You got to just look at it and go, all right, Earl Wolf, we drafted a third round last year, see what he's got. Brandon Boykin played awesome last year. We're not playing him this year. Don't know what's going on behind there. The locker room thing, nothing's coming out. I mean, I do like that about the Eagles. They don't bring up too much of what's going on in the locker room.
Cash, is your phone breaking up right now? I think it's going to break up.
You got it.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, Joe. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for calling. Have a good New Year.
But yeah, it brings up a good point where this game, that's what you said with Barkley starting, throw, Chris Polk as a starting running back, put Huff at receiver, put every backup you have on that roster in this game. Let them play because why not? You want to see what you have for next year where there's nothing to play for.
Do you know what annoyed me? That they didn't kick that field goal. The Eagles.
Which one?
At the end of the half, the 67-yarder.
Oh, the end of the game?
No.
Just for shits and giggles to try it?
No, at the end of the game. Yeah. What? No. What? Was that the end of the half or the end of the game?
It was the end of the game.
Yeah, they could have kicked the field goal.
After the bad kickoff we got at the 50-yard line?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Why didn't they try?
He's got no shot.
Yeah, but so does the quarterback throwing to the end zone.
Yeah, but he said he had a groin injury. He had no shot.
Gives a shit. Take it out, man.
Well, at least you have a chance of a miracle happening.
Yeah,
you don't have a chance of all of a sudden just kicking 20 yards longer than you could before.
Well, I don't know. To me,
if you have Janikowski, you trot him out there and he boots it easily. But we don't have Janikowski.
I don't know. I saw if you need one kick out of a guy, and it's a 67-yard, and this guy's kicks from 50 and more.
Healthy, he doesn't. He wasn't healthy.
I don't know. I just don't. The way your quarterback's arm is, you're never going to be able to put it in there unless you have some kind of freak play.
Exactly. But you have more chance of that than
I don't know.
All of a sudden gaining 20 yards under your leg.
You know what? I just don't know about that.
Especially if
you never know about a pass interference call, something like that. You got to just throw the ball up.
It's a rare pass.
At first, I was like, maybe we might have a chance of desperation. But then I was like, wait, 67 yards. I'm like, no.
You got to do something weird there. You just can't go do. Everybody knows you're throwing the Hail Mary. You kick a field goal. You don't even know if you're faking it or even set up for a kick a field goal and send the guy out deep. Because you think to yourself, are they going to sit somebody back there to get that field goal?
Absolutely. Everyone does that now.
One guy.
Everyone does that now.
No guy on.
Well, yeah, if you throw if some guy's standing on the sideline, they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna cover him too.
Your season's done here, man. On a Hail Mary
It is done.
Yeah. I don't know. You got to do about that. But he's right. I mean, this Joe's right. I mean, you put out everybody because the Giants are coming to play, and you get the test, see what you have.
It's like senior night with the high school. Just throw everybody out there. It's the last game of the year. Who cares?
Everybody plays.
Everybody plays.
Rudy out there.
Yeah.
Rudy. Throw him out there.
We got a whole handful of Rudies on the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get them all in there.
We're going to take a break. 267-563-2893 is the Sports Goombahs Smoke Phone. Cash the King. Got my chef to left, Brendan B. Mikey Walls here. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to go over our best moments of 2014, our surprising, and what was the other one? The shocking moment of 2014 when we come back. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Pat the Pat of the Sports Goombahs Show. Let me tell you all about our friend Larry Gilman and his Larry Gilman Direct. When you need apparel for your business, he is the solution. T-shirts, staff shirts, jackets, hats, banners, and custom welcome mats, and much more. Check out LarryGilman.biz or call 267-908-3863. Hey, and check this out. Larry can set you up to accept credit cards for your company with no equipment charge. That's LarryGilman.biz or call 267-908-3863.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
Stop paying your bookie each week and start collecting. They have the best handicappers in the world, all in one place. And their only job is to win you money. Check Jeff Brandy's and all the experts at trendbetting.com. Trend betting theory is simple. Trends dominate in sports, and you will win in the long run by following the dominant trend. You will lose in the long run if you buck the dominant trend. Simple enough. That's trendbetting.com. Hey, are you paying the piper again? You owe the guy? Busted by the book? Let's end that aggravation right now. BestSportsPicksToday.com. Best Sports Picks Today offers free picks from 50 of the best sports handicappers in America today. Daily selections from NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, MMA, the ponies, and even golf action every day of the week. Best Sports Picks Today not only has few of the best handicappers working for them, we also have the best in the nation working with them. Get you high quality picks for free every day. BestSportsPicksToday.com. Check them out and start winning now. Goombahs. Cassidy King here. Got my chef to the left, Brandon B.
Yeah.
Chef to the left. Like your walls over here.
Oh.
Yeah, that Santa Claus stuff. What you gonna do with that? What you gonna do with that stuff?
I'm just another fat guy with a beard.
Yeah. It's going to get into some looking at, last week, a guy from this Kevin Klein. Who does he play for? I forget which team
Klein?
he plays.
Actor or
The actor?
No. Let me finish. He's a hockey player, Kevin Klein.
Oh, okay.
Plays for the New York Rangers.
Yes.
Okay. Last week against the Pittsburgh Penguins, he got his ear cut off. Cut off, like plop, landed on the ice.
Oh, God.
So, it's the NHL, and it's no big deal. You clean up the blood.
If you tell me he finished the game, I'm leaving.
He scored the winning goal. And they beat the Penguins. They edged the Penguins 4-3. They sewed this guy's ear back on.
That's
now,
impressive.
Take that, Sidney Crosby, and your mumps.
You got to think about that. And the average person's in bed for a month. The average athlete is done. I mean, a football player gets his ear cut off. Unless your name is Ronnie Lott, you're pretty much done. All right. I mean, any sport in general, that kind of stitching and a body part fell off, got cut off. And he comes back and plays the game. Just goes to show what these hockey players are about. And precisely why I think this sport should be chopped down to less games. And it should be the way these guys are and the way, it's rougher than football. I mean, it's way more brutal than football anymore to watch what goes on in a hockey game. Guys are hitting each other and they're cutting body parts off.
Yeah, because it's a common thing.
They're
cutting body parts off.
But it's like Hannibal Lecter's out there.
No, but it's just the start of it. I mean, you wonder with the blade flying around, and before they had all this padding on and these masks and everything, they didn't see this more. Let me put this on the screen here, by the way, as I'm doing the show.
You got a picture? I don't want to see the pictures.
No, I'm not. I want to put a picture of us on the screen. I didn't put the video back on so we can see these beautiful mugs. Here we are. Back in the saddle.
The face is for radio.
Yeah. My face is for everything, brother. Speak for yourself. Hollywood, I'm on my way. That's why I bought the camera. Anyway, you got to wonder about these hockey players. It's unbelievable how tough they are. Hockey players are the toughest athletes
I'll never argue that
in the world.
I don't care for hockey.
I mean, outside of MMA fighters who take the same beating, boxers, they it's a different kind of beating. But as far as the blood, the and what they go through, and I think they get injured more with the padding on than they did off. It's funny to see that in the old days, you didn't see the kind of injuries you see now or hear about with less padding on. But then again, the shots were different back then.
And also too, the average player is like 4 inches taller, like 40 pounds.
I don't think it's even the size. I think it's the speed of the game.
Well, that's what I mean.
Right.
Well, back then and there, like, look, who did you have? Like somebody like thick on on the Flyers back then wasn't the fastest. And let's face it, back in the 70s and the early 80s, you didn't have to be the best skater. You just had to be a guy that had a hell of a wrist shot or a slap shot. I mean, there were a lot of players that weren't really fast skaters or even talented skaters. And now in this day and age, you got guys that are doing 30 miles an hour sometimes on the ice, it wasn't even heard of before. Guys are shooting the puck in the hundreds. Whereas I can't remember, when did that first happen?
It doesn't really matter. The speed of the puck doesn't matter now on shots because you can't hurt a guy, and there's very few spots on the body now that's not covered by some kind of cover, some kind of plastic or padding. Yeah, but it doesn't happen as much now. With the padding they have on now and that's why you see guys blocking shots all the time because nobody's afraid of the shot. Guys are laying out. They don't care.
You couldn't pay me enough to block a shot.
Nope, not even with the pads on.
Why not? With the pads on? You had that kind of armor and that puck's not penetrating.
Not that much armor.
Oh, it is behind it. Oh, it is. I mean, you got the guys that you see.
I wouldn't let you take a shot.
The guys that you see go off. The guys that see go off the ice hurt are ones because the pucks caught them in spots where the pads been.
Yeah, but it may catch me in that spot, and I don't want to take that risk.
But in general, as a hockey player, my point being is, if you're willing to have your ears sliced off and sewn back on within the hour, so you get back on the ice, how do you care about a chop shot?
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was going to say is that I feel like they are that tough, but it's also they don't, because you hear so many stories of guys getting this cut off and this slash and this bleeding, this their teeth knocked out, but they come back and play. You don't want to be that first hockey player who goes, no, I can't go back in.
Dude, it's my ear.
Yeah,
But
it's like a brotherhood of like toughness where it's like, well, he did this and he did this, so I gotta go back in there. Like they're just
they kind of had a heart attack.
and I think they're just a little stupid too. Is why they go back.
They had a heart attack.
I don't know.
last
You know,
year.
first of all, though, they're raised on pain with hockey. None of them have their teeth. They all lost their teeth as kids. That's just the way. That's the way of life in a hockey. So a hockey player is, pain is part of what that sport's about. And if you can't condition pain. I mean, you either can take it or you can't. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line.
And that's the thing. You find out at a very early age if you're a hockey player or not.
Sure.
And that's it. And if you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
And let's face it, most of us are not. And a lot of us are not. You know, unless you're the kid that can skate around like a freaking machine and get protected by all the guys like the bullies or the brawlers at a peewee level to where you get to the, juniors with all your teeth intact. And then that's a wake up story too, because half those guys wash out because now you, like Cassie said, yeah, that's great. You were the king of college, or the king of peewee, or you're a king of this. But now you're going to a level where everybody, once you max out at your level, that's it. You're going like Manziel. 1% he played against, he was probably the best. He was that 1% that was able to make it. Now everybody is better than him at that level, and he can't cope.
The Cleveland Browns offered Rex Grossman $50,000 to play this week because Manziel's out. He passed up on it. His family was in town.
That's not true.
Yeah, it's right here on Yahoo Sports, man. Rex Grossman passed up on Browns offer with family in town for Christmas. He offered Rex Grossman more than $50,000 to play for them for a week.
You can't sign people to 1-week contracts in the NFL.
Well, yeah, I guess you can if you don't have a quarterback.
They do have a quarterback.
Who do they have?
They have to have somebody.
I think Hoyer might be out too now.
Maybe he's out. They have some. There's going to be a third brother.
Hoyer he's got a bunion. He can't play. They can't shave that off and let him put him back.
Speaking of needing quarterbacks, did any of you watch the game last night? Arizona's in some trouble.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show, that they're
in
going
some
nowhere.
trouble.
They cannot score.
They literally
can't score.
How many times have you been sitting on like a couch and you watch TV and say, "Oh, this is the worst quarterback ever"?
Yeah.
No, Ryan Lindley is literally statistically the worst quarterback that's ever played football. Think about that.
Even
anything
worse.
Since the game was created.
How long has he been playing?
He played a couple games as a rookie. Then he was just out of the league because he's really bad. And then they just desperately needed him. They signed him like 2 weeks ago. Nobody has ever started their career with this many attempts without throwing a touchdown.
Do you know they should just snap to the halfback? Where are they going to go with this?
You get to the point where is Tebow getting that phone call soon?
Can he get it at this time of year? I guess he can. I guess.
If Rex Grossman can get $50,000 for a week.
Can you imagine they call Tebow in and they make the playoffs and they call Tebow in?
I mean, why not? You can't. Ryan Lindley is literally the worst quarterback that's ever played football. You're not going to win a playoff game against these teams.
Imagine? I hope. Oh my God, that'd be ridiculous.
No, that's not going to happen. He's not even football.
Wait, it's not that far fetched.
Listen, first of all,
it's only a year out.
It would have happened by now already. It didn't. They were going to move, and they would have moved them before the playoffs. I don't know if you can sign players in the playoffs. I have to say.
I would assume you can sign somebody anywhere.
Well, no, you can't just sign players.
If somebody gets hurt, why can't you sign somebody?
I don't know if you can in the playoffs. I mean, in baseball, you can't bring it.
It's not the playoffs yet. You can still bring them in.
I'm just saying.
Here's the difference. I see what you're saying.
On a Monday night.
Baseball's a lot different.
Baseball's a lot different because you can expand to basically triple your roster and somebody's eligible after like October.
But you got to put that together before the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to put that together before the playoffs. But there is no farm season.
Regardless, that's not happening. It's a moot point. It didn't happen. So we're talking about.
No, I'm not talking about stupidity. I don't
know if you bring in freaking Tebow is any better than what they have right now.
Yes, I mean,
how could he be? Is he?
As I said, how could it be worse?
Yeah, well,
Lindley has no touchdowns and like 9 picks in his whole career. That's literally the worst ever. He's the worst ever.
Look, let Arizona play their first round and say goodbye and worry about it next year. That's all. What are you going to do? Got a little segment we're going to do here now. It's called The Best, Worst, and the Most Shocking that happened this year in 2014, which is not over yet. Who knows what's going to happen in the next week or so.
Another week to make the list.
Next week. So, Mikey, what do you got for your best? We're going to talk about the best thing that happened.
The best thing that happened in 2014. Now, with my lists, I wanted to go a little outside the box because I don't want to sit here and do the same thing we're all doing.
Yeah.
What's the fun in that?
You won't get
In sports? It has to be sports related?
Yes, this is sports.
Okay, all right.
We're a sports show here. The best thing in 2014 sports goes to Monet Davis from Philadelphia Zone.
Yep.
A girl playing Little League Baseball, which is rare enough in its own, dominating the boys.
Yep.
Dominating the boys. She was amazing. I mean, I don't have her Pee-wee numbers in front of me, but I think that's a great story. She made the cover of Sports Illustrated, the first Little Leaguer to ever make the cover. You know, she's 13 years old. That was one of the best stories.
I agree. That's one of the best, and she should be doing this more than Manziel should be because her and her mother are raking up, man, and will continue to rake up as life goes on.
And they said she's allowed to. There was questions of, is she going to ruin her college eligibility, making money? But
they have their trust funds. They put that stuff in.
Yeah,
There's ways
she'll get it when
that's
18.
just that's all media bullshit. They give the story more.
Yeah.
Oh, she can't do nothing because she won't
you
be
gotta
able to
have
get a
some.
college.
It's too good of a story. You need some kind of controversy.
Yeah.
But I think that was a good story.
What's your best story?
Oh, this is going to be a downer. But
how was a good story?
How could a best story be a
For
downer?
me, the best thing that could ever happen was saying goodbye to Jimmy Rollins.
That was the best thing that's happened this year.
That was the best thing that for me that happened this year because I just
you are
thought
a downer.
No,
you're a glass
I'll tell you why.
Wait a minute, man.
I'll tell you
Come
why.
on, B. Oh, everything that happened this year. That's the best thing.
That's the best thing. You know why? Because and I mean this in a positive way, and I'll explain myself. It was the best thing that could happen to Philly fans. It was the best things that could happen to J-Ro personally. He's got a shot to win another title, right? It's good for him. It's good for us because we're not going to take another year of resenting Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy Rollins did a lot for the city. And let me tell you, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he did a lot. He was MVP. He got that. He got a ring. You know, he was the fuel for our engine for so long. He was the mouth that we wanted. And I just think for him, I'm glad that we're not going to sit there. I wanted him to. I'm happy for him to go because I don't want to have to. I don't want the Philly crowd to get sour on him. And he took out a really nice note.
You got that goddamn penalty flag.
Look around. Did you see something yellow, red?
All right, B, I'll give you that. And it's personal. I understand that. My best thing that happened this year was Jeter hitting that walk-off single against the Yankees. I mean, there was not, there's a lot of hype went into him playing his last game, going out on top, and for him to come up to that bat with that pressure and to win the game. I mean, that's
storybook.
Storybook. Yeah, you can't be.
If that was a movie, you'd say, that's corny.
Yeah,
that's corny.
If the only thing that could have beat that would have been a home run.
Yeah.
That was it. If he would hit the home run, then it would have been the end. He could have put him in the box and say he's legendary. It's already legendary. To me, that was the best thing that I saw that happened as far as, good things happen in sports. That was perfect. You couldn't write the script better than that one.
I think Jeter he's at a universe, unless outside of Boston, probably. He's well liked guy.
Boston. They like him in Boston.
Yeah, I think they definitely respect him.
They respect him. If you don't respect Jeter as an athlete, or you have anything rotten to say about him, it's because you're jealous of him, and that's it. Because
you're jealous of him,
because
the Yankees, or the
he made the run. He made the 20-some odd year run without flaw. Okay, didn't win everything. He's got enough rings to fill a bunch of hands, and he's won every major award that you can have in baseball. And to me, going out like that was incredible that he could pull that. For the most part. Worse, Mikey. The worst.
Worst thing for me, Super Bowl blowout. It had such promise. The best defense we've seen in X amount of years. The best offense we've seen in X amount of years. And we thought this was an epic battle of titans. And it was over within the first 30 seconds. It's such a letdown. I mean, I look forward to the Super Bowl every year. And it's not so much like as a fan of any exit team. I did want the Broncos to win. But that's not even why. It's just because that game had such potential and expectations to be such a great game. And it was just... I stopped watching midway through the first quarter. I was out somewhere. It was still on around me, but I didn't even look. What's the point? It was just it was a letdown.
I think it was you that said, gosh, it said the best games are the championship games, AFC and FC games.
Mm-hmm.
They always seem like one team always gives it all just to get to the dance. And
I really didn't think you were going to pick that. I picked that one.
Did
Same
you?
one. I said right here, Seattle crushes Manning.
Yeah.
That's how I heard.
I had another one too, but I was like, everyone's gonna say that, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, my other one was stinking drafting the homosexual. To be, because not that it was shocking to me, it was shocking to me they did that. And
Are we doing shocking here or worst?
Well, not that it was the word. It was shocking because they did it because of what he was, not how he plays. You know what I mean? For the most part. But then again, I look down the draft. Well, forget it's not my pick anyway. Go ahead.
The worst thing, I think, would be the Ray Rice scandal.
Yeah. Well, it's a scandal. Both.
Well,
I had them lumped
mean,
together.
I lumped it. And the
To
same
you,
thing.
that was the worst thing, right?
Yeah. Well,
we're picking personal things, not just what people think in general. Just so you know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, I didn't like the handling of it. Everything was like,
Botched.
everything
botched.
was like completely handled wrong, and then all of a sudden the tape comes out and who saw it, who didn't see it. And quite frankly, it was so freaking disturbing to watch a woman getting hit and knocked to the ground. That made it literally turns my stomach to watch that. And then the fact that, this guy knew about it supposedly or didn't know about it, and everybody's playing the game, blaming game, and then their whole solution was, 1 minute blurbs of how domestic violence is bad, NFL. And it just, the whole thing was handled wrong. I just think, and that was the worst possible thing, I think, that I saw this year, just because it was just mishandled. I don't know.
It's to the point where here we are, how many months later, and we still don't know who know what happened. What did they, like? We still don't even have answers. And Goodell, I don't even have words for that guy.
And that's what I mean. Like, to me, that
he's a creep.
He is a creep,
and that's why, to me, it's the worst thing that could happen. I never in my life would find any excuse to do that to a woman ever. As a guy, maybe that's old, whatever. It's just the deal, and
I don't like that. I don't like the way that it's just put on. It's put on the NFL as being the catalyst of this whole women stuff. When it's far more than just NFL. You know what I mean? But just happens they have the platform now to have commercials with guys crying. Now actors are all crying.
I saw an actor one.
That was Hillary Swank's up there crying. I'm thinking to myself, okay, was she beaten as a wife, or did her mother? Why is she up there making herself cry? That doesn't makes me think that making those guys stand up there on TV,
it feels
producing. It's like stage stupidity, man.
And that's my when I watch this,
I want to hit them.
You know what I mean? I watched that commercial and I'm like, so what happened before? Like, did you say, all right, go up there and cry, or did you say tell your story and then it is filmed the aftermath? Like, I want to know what went behind making this commercial, because I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense.
It feels so forced.
Yes,
and unauthentic. It's just, hey,
You see Chris Carter at the end of the one where he's sitting there with and it's like their eyes are wide open. I don't know what their point is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's my point? What got us here?
Never again. Never again what? Never again a woman's going to get beat. Never again.
What happened?
You see that freaking catch I just made?
I'm not watching the TV, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I couldn't. I was
I'm following the rules here.
I was looking up at the TV, just thinking out of the top of my head, like when I look up at the TV. Listen, you guys can stop right now and watch this catch. Watch this catch.
All right, that was good.
Okay. That's ridiculous.
That wasn't
that
wasn't Odell good.
That would have stopped me in my tracks too.
Okay, I just I was doing my thinking while I would look up. Yeah, I'm not refocusing, but when you see a catch like that, all of a sudden your eyes get drawn to it. What the hell was I saying?
It's your turn now for the worst.
The worst to me, the worst. No, I didn't give you the. I didn't mean the worst. I mean the shocking.
No, you're giving worst.
We're worst.
We're not on shocking yet.
We're worst.
Oh, we're on the worst. To me, worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why did you get? What was Seattle for you?
I said that game was the worst.
Oh,
thing
okay.
Yeah. It was shocking too, but it was the worst because it was a letdown.
Okay. The worst thing I saw this year was that freaking World Cup. Okay, to sit through that crap and listen, let me finish, man. Let me tell you why. And I tried so hard.
This is me turning my back to you.
You
ain't the mayor.
And listen, you didn't watch
the mayor.
You don't watch the goddamn Godfather, and we didn't turn our back to you. We gave you a chance. Okay, soccer is it's so boring.
Oh.
And let me finish.
There you go.
You're moaning and groaning over them.
I'll let you go.
First of all, the game is televised bad. Okay, they got to stop televising like it's a football game from the middle, because you don't see what's going on in the rest of the field. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even know if anybody else see them playing. The only good shots you get at soccer is when they put the cameras right down on the field in the movement, like they're starting to do in the NFL too. But the thing is, there's not enough scoring. And what bothers me about soccer is you can have guys bringing that ball all the way down and making plays back and forth until they get to the freaking net, and then it all breaks down. Now, with that being said, I never saw more wimpier athletes in my life. I'm telling you, these guys go down in a heap like they just got shot with two guns, and they roll around on that floor, and then they bring out the goddamn box of tape and medical shit and 3 other guys, and they cut down there, and the guy's laying there, the foot's banging up and down the ground, the hands pounding on the surf, the grimace on the face is, and like I said, hockey players, soccer, forget about it. And then 5 seconds later, on their feet, they're running around out there again, and they got the hairs all looking nice. They got the tans, the everything. Soccer, the World Cup's bogus, man. It's a bogus televised event of bullshit that I have ever seen. And the hype for it makes me puke. What a bunch of wimpy athletes, which all they want to do, and when they go down in a heap and they get injured, bang, those cameras are down there, up close and personal. That's their only time they're getting on camera, unless they score a goal. The way the camera work's done, they're so far away from the game, you got little specks on your TV. And for 90 minutes of that bullshit to watch 2 goals go in the net.
Well, I'm telling you, I have a 60-inch, so they're not specs to me. I see them.
I don't care.
Nice and big.
I have a 55-inch. I stand right in front of it just to get a closer view of the whole thing.
I'll give you, they are wimps, but they're not. It's not so much that they're really even hurt. It's like you see these punters these days. That's what they do. You're acting for the call. Once you get your call, you get up and you go play again because you got your call. You got what you wanted.
That's not the way to win the American public. If you were trying to make it,
they're not trying to win. I don't think the Germans are trying to win the American public.
Yeah, they are. You know why they're trying to win the American public? Because this is where the dough is for sports.
No, it's not.
Oh,
That is soccer. That is soccer.
Dude, no, it's not.
No, they're going to Euro League.
They need the dough, the betting dough in this country.
Oh,
Nick,
what are you talking about?
No way. Not for that.
Soccer doesn't make it in the United States because you can't bet on this stinking shit.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, but it's brutal.
You can.
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? How many goals have scored a soccer game?
Why on earth do the German and the Brazilian players care about American betting on soccer? They don't care.
You know what? Beckham.
Do you know how much money they make?
Beckham came here to play soccer. Why?
Because he was at the twilight of his career.
No, because he got paid a ton of cash.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, there it is. The cash is over here. Because
no, it's not over here.
It is over here.
No. He got paid a ton of cash. American, what is considered American, but he was not going to make that playing in Europe anymore.
He was not making that
and the only reason is because people to come out to watch these games got dough on them.
But no, because they came out to see his, because he's Beckham.
Yeah,
he is a legend, and his wife
nothing
is posh.
for soccer here, by the way.
Wife is Posh Spice, right?
Yeah.
You weren't getting 27-year-old Beckham. You got 35-year-old.
Whatever.
35.
Cristiano Ronaldo makes like $40 million over there in Europe. He's not going to touch
money,
that in America.
You're a little bit skewed on this one because, like, what
soccer
is it?
Stinks. Can't use your hand in a sport.
What's the one they always advertise on TV?
What kind of sport is you can't use
ESPN
your hands?
Or Fox News, the
what,
league.
the BPL, British.
The British League.
No.
Yeah, they're
Barclays
the ones.
Premier League.
Yeah, the British Premier League soccer. So they're the ones. That's where they want to go to play. They don't give a shit about playing here. That's like the NFL of Europe. You know, everybody wants to go there.
Mm-hmm. We're the CFL.
We're
the arena. We're
actually arena football.
Yeah, we're like AF2. We're like the lower leagues of arena football.
And the funny thing is, you got nothing. We got nothing. They're selling out 80,000 Wembley Stadium as opposed to 42 at the Link. Okay, and they're doing it 40 times a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, they're not giving a shit about coming over here for American soccer. They're not. He only did that because it's all Hollywood. It's all. He came over here because it's Hollywood. Where did he play? Where did he go? Yeah. Galaxy, right?
LA, yeah.
His wife can do shopping there, and she had some freaking contract with Home Shopping Network or something like that, and that's why they came over here, because they could make another $20 million because his year was done.
Let's go to the phones.
Going to interrupt us in the middle of our.
We're going to go to the phones and talk to Jeffrey Brandis here to cut this down a little bit before we I lose my voice. Jeffrey, welcome to the show.
Man, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cassie. I was listening to what you had to say, still, the whole time, and I wanted to keep you from getting a heart attack over here for sure. But you know what you were saying a few minutes ago about the NFL with the Ray Rice thing. I agree with Brendan on it. I mean, it's just uncalled for. But it's the whole problem with the NFL, in my humble opinion, is that they're just money. Everything is bottom line there. There's no morals. It's you look at the man Tony Romo. How does he recover from a broken back a half an hour before every game?
Needles.
I mean, these guys are all shot up with drugs and
Right.
and it's.
Jeff, when we were kids, did we ever hear about players being shot up? I know they did it, but they never told us. It wasn't like I didn't think it was it was legal to say, "Hey, we're going to go in and stuck a couple needles in this guy's going to come out and play." I didn't think that was something you were supposed to tell the average fan back when we were kids or growing up in this 70s and 80s. Now it's like, oh yeah, go in there, take a little shot, drop some Vicodin, some Percocets down, and we'll come back out and play like it's no problem. No wonder the FBI is in these locker rooms looking for illegal drugs.
And it goes. I mean, that's just scratching the surface. It has. I'm looking at when who was it? Was it Kaepernick? Somebody wore the different brand of headphones.
Yeah.
That they didn't wear the Bose headphones.
Right.
And they got fined for not wearing the Bose headphones prior to an hour after a game.
Yeah, that was Kaepernick.
That is ridiculous. Everything is branded. Everything is bottom line. Advertisers getting money, and that's the motivation in the NFL. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They
Absolutely
don't care about
correct. I know a guy out there is listening to this right now who's smiling from ear to ear with that comment from you. They don't care about, and I'm not talking about Goodfellas, which Mikey Walls wouldn't know nothing about.
Nothing.
Anyway, but yeah, absolutely. Like I've been saying, the NFL is slowly but surely becoming the WWE. It's a controlled atmosphere of money-making organization of actors and participators and controllers that make the cash flow in this league. And that's what it's all about. And that's why the rules are changing, and that's why they don't want the injuries, because they don't want to risk lawsuits that'll lose them money. They don't want players getting injured so they don't have to waste contracts. A lot of that stuff going on.
Can you follow the rules from year to year, what the rules changes are? How can you do you know the rules of football? Do you know the difference between college football rules and pro football rules? I mean, it's you got to be a lawyer. You need a law degree and have to pass a bar exam in order to understand the rules of the game.
I was curious. Can a ground cause a fumble in high school football?
Don't know.
Can a ground cause a fumble in a high school football game?
I think because once you touch, you're down.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's a question I'm asking. I mean, I know college changed their rules to the professional rules, but is it the same all the way down? I mean, the NFL and college, you don't even know.
You know,
I don't know. Well, I know one foot. Well, the only thing I know of for sure is 1 foot in on a catch in college, and you need.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just talking about the rules of football in general. Seeing the NFL change the general rule in football that a ground can't cause, a ground can't cause a fumble, and I don't know if that's true. Well, I know in a high school game, there's not cameras all over. The instant replay isn't available there yet, so maybe not. How can you tell? For the most part, I don't think they care in high school football anyway for that kind of stuff.
Not here in Texas, they do.
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
In Texas, they would give a shit.
The rules are customized to meet the bottom line. I think that's the issue I have.
I don't mind them getting it right. Getting it right's okay with me. However they have to do it, they just got to figure a way to get it right without slowing the game up so stinking much. And
how can you justify how can you justify smacking a woman just so that you can make money? I mean, it just isn't right.
Well, if you're in the WWE and you're in the ring and you smack a woman, it's okay. You've seen that before in wrestling.
Win championships for that.
Yeah.
It's part of the show.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a show. Well, there you go. This is, like I said, this NFL is becoming a show. That's what it is. That's why when Brendan says there's so much off the field stuff going on all the time to keep the NFL in the light, that's exactly what it's all about. Because advertisers want to be with the ones that are making the news. Bottom line, that's just the way it goes. You know. I mean, what do you think? You think you're going to see? You know, Mike, you know about wrestling. You think you're going to see women being smacked around by guys in the WWE anymore after all this?
Yeah,
I used to broadcast
not like that.
Well, still
on the internet years ago. In your part of town in South Philly, that was the best, man. That was crazy stuff.
Yeah, what the ECW?
ECW arena, yep.
ECW. Well, you was that Taz.
This is my kind of conversation.
Yeah, there you go. You want to talk wrestling? Yeah, I got the right guy for you. You know, talk. Remember him back in the what was his name?
Worth the craziest.
Yeah.
Who was the crazy? I'll tell you who crazy. Who was the craziest?
Superfly Snuka.
No.
The Sandman was crazy.
Sabu.
Yeah, he's
ECW.
He's literally insane.
Yeah. No. Well, anybody? You know what? The one match when he tore his arm with 37 stitches and with barbed wire.
Yeah.
And he just with Terry Funk and he duct taped it back together. He duct taped his arm. You watch it. He's bleeding all over the place. What the hell is he pointing at half the time? You see him grab the back of his neck. He's pointing up. You're like, oh Jesus! And here's Terry Funk, and you can see the look on Terry Funk's face in that match, and he's like, "The hell's going on?" I mean, like there are some instances where, yes, okay, I admit, at one point it was very, very entertaining. Now it's a parody of itself. It's not so much fun anymore. I guess the ice hockey players that were the old wrestling days are gone.
Hey Jeff, what do you got? What do you got this week? Got a good play you can give out to my audience here? Give me something. Give me something good.
At this moment, I'm unprepared.
Unprepared.
Give me anything because my plate was full all day today, and I haven't even looked at anything for tomorrow. And I'll be fair to you, I haven't even looked.
Well, what do you think about my Eagle Giant play? I think as far as the Giants, the Torquing Eagles this weekend.
The Eagles look pathetic this weekend.
This month.
They should have won that game 8 times over. Yeah. They should have won with 2 field goals.
Right.
Sanchez throws an interception at the end, and they wind up losing by 3. I mean, that's unacceptable. I mean, we understand that. We've talked about that to ad nauseum here. I have to root for the Giants because Conklin is going to wear that peace sign, to honor the NYPD guys that got shot.
And
so they get love from me for this weekend.
What about Rex? Is he done? Is it over for him?
Rex is done like a 3-minute egg that's been in there for 6
I don't know. I don't know if he gets picked up by another team. What do you think? I mean, was he a defensive coordinator, right?
Somebody will pick him up as a D coordinator without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want that ego around your team though?
Yeah, he's a distraction. He's a total distraction, man. He's not. He needs to go to the Arena Ball or the Canadian League, or go pasteurize with his dad somewhere. I don't know.
He'll be on TV or something next year.
Yeah, he'll be dancing with the stars for sure.
I didn't mean that.
Oh my God, really?
Oh, Rexy, or he can go. You know what he could do? He could go in as a Christie lookalike, like a body double. When he goes out places like that, maybe he can stick him in Cowboy games as a fan or something.
Yeah, he's I feel bad for him, like as a man, Rick, but as a coach, he's just unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Yeah, well,
unacceptable.
Yeah, it's Bill Belichick's waving goodbye. See you, buddy. Nice playing against you these last 10 years or however long he was with the team.
That move Belichick was made was stay with the Jets for one day and say, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Let's get the 100,000 and I'm gone.
Yeah, exactly. Nice work. How'd you do this week in the NFL?
That's a good weekend.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Christmas Day because it's just pro basketball.
Yeah.
And my baby
opened up a betting account just for the three of us to bet pro basketball on Christmas Day. So I'm going to have a good day on Christmas Day. The three of us are going to combine our forces and just bet pro basketball.
Yep.
So this will be a big Christmas for me.
I hear you. All right, Jeff, appreciate the call, man. Give us a shout.
Right, have a great day, everybody. Mike, Brendan, take care.
All right, man.
Happy holidays.
See you. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Jeffrey Brandy's from trendbetting.com checking in as usual, like he does. Well, where were we? We were talking about we were
up to shocking.
Oh yeah,
shocking things.
Okay, back to shock. I got my worst of the World Cup. I got a bunch of flags thrown at me on that one. Okay, not bad.
No, it's an opinion. It's yours. You can own it. It's good.
Yeah. We did say this is yours, not.
That's
consensus.
right. I mean, but to me, this year is the worst thing that I had to sit and watch because one of this show and I had to keep up with a little bit of the Joneses that I could, and the other, and that to me that was it was unacceptable sports to me. What go ahead, Mike.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned. It's our thing. I was hoping you guys weren't going to yell at me too much for this, but my most shocking moment of the year was Brock Lesnar beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania. I mean, that's you don't know where I'm going with this, but you'll never understand the shock that was.
Because the Undertaker was undefeated at WrestleMania.
You just knew. You knew going into it, right? Mr. Undertaker wins, Brock loses, end of story. That was what you knew. As a fan of wrestling, you knew that was happening, and it didn't happen. That would be like Aaron Rodgers playing Temple.
They messed the script up on you. Right? They threw you.
They did.
The soap opera script got flown through.
Exactly.
Hey, let's face it. There's a couple, and not to cut you, but like you know the stories. Some guys just freaking hate each other, Cashy, and that some of the best matches over the years were. Guess what? This is real, and some of them were real. Some of them were knockdown, drag out fights, and especially in the early '80s. And they didn't like each other. I mean, there's a reason why Bruiser Brody got stabbed in a locker room, and died. Yeah, he was murdered in Puerto Rico. Yeah, there's a reason why they don't like each other. I mean, what was the big one in the '80s? Backlund and Sergeant Slaughter. They absolutely.
Backlund. Remember, he used to look at the camera like this.
Yeah,
always looking back to the camera like this.
Talk about being insane.
He's
lost his mind.
And technically a real wrestler. You know, he wasn't. He was
back in the day. I used to sit there and watch Channel 29, which was before your time, I think. And they used to have Vince McMahon used to sit in between the two guys when he was wearing his great suit every time, back and forth like this when his dad ran the show and everything. And he used to have the Bob Backlund, the Haystack Calhoun's guys like Tony Gurria.
Yeah,
I used to watch this stuff because when I was young, I got caught up too in the story and my favorite ones and the whole. And wrestling was great. It used to come on at 11 o'clock and then 4:30 and then you catch it at nighttime again. You were hoping you would see the upsets and things like that. But after a while, it got to be big and WrestleMania and I remember when Hulk Hogan was he was the bad guy that came up with the Russian coach. What was his name? Nikolai Volkov. They came up together with that guy. Who was the guy with the cane and the white hair? What was his name? Freddie Blassie. Classy Freddie Blassie. Put up on, and I remember Hulk Hogan when he was nothing. He was just a guy that came up into the system. You know, and then
Terry Bolla.
And he was a good actor. So they said, we got something here. This guy can act. He can remember his lines. Oh boy, bring him up, you know.
And that's
what made The Rock so good. Rock didn't have to script him. He was so good at it.
Rock was just Rock.
I like The Rock. When my daughter was born, that was a big thing between it. We loved The Rock. 2-3 years old, her and I, we used to laugh at all his lines and stuff and the way he was inside knew he was going to be an actor. Knew it for sure.
It's funny because like growing up, but God, we used to get the PWI magazine. And we make a joke about it. There's still like old ones in my parents' house down the shore, but when you're looking at, you sit there and you realize we don't realize NWA was an alliance. It was like you had Florida wrestling here, and that was run by these group of guys, all the guys he mentioned
together.
Yeah. And if you happen to have enough clout, you were the guy that, all right, I'm going to beat the Florida champion and I'm going to unify the belts and all that shit. And it was, back then it was the closest thing to like cool boxing, you know what I mean? Because you got to see it every week. You don't get to see boxing every week.
Yeah.
Here these guys, and whether or not it was scripted, I didn't give a shit when I was 12 years old. It was fun. It was fun seeing the Freebirds, running out there with their craziness. yeah, even George the Animal Steel, Junkyard Dog, all them other guys it was fun. I give it to you.
Yeah, it's like a good TV show. Like it's
Best soap opera on
if
TV.
you're a big Sopranos fan, you wouldn't just stop watching because season 6 sucked. You'd get through it. And I'll admit, right now it's not good, but I get through it because eventually it's going to be good again. So that's my pick. I don't want to go too long on wrestling. That's double dipping on wrestling in one day.
Go ahead, B.
That's crazy.
What's your
most shocking? Shocking would be
good to see you're prepared.
Yeah, no, I haven't. It's the hazing at a high school football level, especially in this area. What? Shocking.
Yeah, I don't
say it's shocking. CB West canceled their season. There you go. Shocked you, didn't I?
I gotta tell you, very off the cuff here with some of this stuff. I was prepared for rebuttals on. All the other stuff, I had rebuttals on the major thing, but I got nothing on the Jimmy Rollins and the.
I mean, it was so, and you've seen it in several other cancels, but I do believe CB West or CB East canceled their season because of hazing around.
What the high school?
Yeah, in this area, and it's not just there. There was instances, and I think in New Jersey. So
it's all over the place.
It's all over the place, and they're actually like kudos for them. And I was shocked to hear that that stuff goes on like that. And there were actually some cases of like these guys were being like sexually assaulted in some stuff. Like good hazing got out of control or whatever. It just shocked me that today, when you hear about all that crap like 5 years ago at the college level. Of all, you remember when that was going on? Maybe it was 5-7 years ago, of all the hazing, how they put all the anti-hazing things out. That nobody even bothered to check at the lower levels, like because he was talking about that. And
I feel like it hasn't not been going on forever. I don't know. I mean,
hazing's been a part of sports since sports was
that severe.
And the only reason it's severe because there's cameras and people talking about it. The severeness of things and. I don't know. I didn't hear about the hazing. I didn't even, I've heard about hazing before. I've seen it on, sports, HBO's with Brian Gunn. They had a whole thing about a couple years ago and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard things about it, but like you said, it's always one thing. If I tell you a story, it's one thing, but if I show you the story, it's a bigger thing. So I guess you're seeing the hazing on video.
Hey, we'll go to my shocking thing, which is your worst was mine was the Seattle Super Bowl because, I got myself all prepped and ready with the food, the booze, whatever I could do. I got myself together to sit down and watch my man that year, Manning, who I thought had a great year, broke some records, was going to come in there and show Seattle that, you could be a great defense, but when you got a legendary quarterback and he needed this Super Bowl to to equal his brother at the freaking dinner table. All right. And I sit down and get ready to watch this thing. And I see the most shocking thing was the first snap.
Yeah.
Ball goes over his head. I look over and I said, how does Peyton Manning get a ball snapped over his head? It looked like he wasn't even prepared for it. And the thing I'm thinking, if a fix was in, it was in on this game. It looked like the total. Yeah. To me, I was shocked that Manning could play so bad.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking Seattle was that good. I thought Manning was so bad. Someone's in his pocket. There's no way he could come out on a game like this, being the talent that he is, and throw a clunker like he did. Unless the other side was that good. And as the game progressed, you saw Seattle was that good on defense. They had mixed him up. They have done their homework, and they came prepared. And it just wasn't that day. But I was shocked to sit there. By halftime, I was like, all right, what's next?
It's like I said, when I was out there, I was like, all right, well, this game's over.
It was over. And they were trying to focus on commercials, which were even worse than the game at the time, And then, like you said, there you are. You're all bloated by halftime. Ate all the food. Everybody ate because no one's watching the game anymore because it was depressing. Because
never expected the game.
And all of us in the room were on Denver. So there's a ton of freaking cash on it's and it's our fault because we didn't see Seattle for what they were. You thought that they were, you got so caught up in offensive football.
It's easy to see amazing offensive numbers and amazing offense. It's hard. It's not as easy to see a great defense
because a great defense in the NFL now holds you under 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
A great one.
Well, that 21's a good. And 21, it's funny. I was listening to I forget who it was on the games yesterday, telling about the on Saturday the Eagle game. It was one of the crew on the it was Bill Cowher. He said the Eagles, and I was talking to Senior, and I said to him, and I was on the phone. I said Cowher just said the Eagle game is going to be a high scoring game, 28-21. And I said to him, you know, Cowher's still sitting in the 80s and 90s. That's not a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
Yet the game landed close to what he was saying, but he said that's a high-scoring game. To me, 28-21 is a regular average game now. Used to be high-scoring. 4 touchdowns in a game was a big deal in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. You know, 40 points.
I remember
more.
even just like, you know, back when I was in high school and we would look at lines and things like that. And I remember seeing an over-under on a Redskins game of Sunday Night Football. It was like 32.
Yeah, we've seen them before.
Like nowadays, it's like you don't
rarely see them under 50.
The rules don't allow it. The rules don't allow it. It's impossible not to score unless you are stopped or your offense just isn't on the field long enough to score points.
Or your Manziel.
Yeah. Speaking of Manziel, he's out for the season now, so he's done. So get rid of him.
He's out for the season, the 1 week season.
Yeah, 1 week season. Then he'll go. You know, this will frustrate him. He'll go do something stupid within the next month.
He'll be in Vegas.
Yeah, he'll do
something within the next 2 weeks.
What is the actual injury?
A hamstring.
Yes. He's called Stu.
In other words, we're not putting you out there anymore.
He doesn't even know how to fall. He doesn't know how to fall. His dives are ridiculous looking. He don't know how to. He don't slide. It's football. It's the NFL. You got to slide or you're going to die.
I'm 44
simple
years
enough.
old, 230 pounds, and I can slide. How the hell do you get through life not being able to learn how to slide, right?
Because when you're that good, when you're as good as Johnny Football, you don't slide, you score.
You're Johnny Football, man. Come on. Anyway, next week we're gonna have a little contest here. We need a new patron saint here on the Sports Goombahs. We're running out of players to pick on. Everybody's dropping like flies. The closest thing I have to pick on now to a player is I don't have anybody. I mean, Sanchez won't be here. We don't pick on him. We don't pick on local guys. That's a waste of time. There's nobody out there really. You know, Romo is blown it. He's fired. He's no good to us anymore. Manziel's worthless. Favre's not coming back, so we're pretty much stuck.
We're going to pick a new sport in a week.
Yeah, we got. Well, you know, typically our patron saint usually makes noise all year long. You know, does something stupid.
Manziel may be out for the year, but
doesn't mean he's out.
New Year's Eve is in like 10 days, that's the season's going to be over. He's going out.
Ball's going to drop on
He's
him.
going
you know what
out.
else? The NFL really doesn't have another pump right here. There's not another guy for them to move up. The RG3 shit the bed, so he's done. You know, there's really not. Yeah,
tell you what, though, he's still smiling though.
Who cares?
Happy.
But it's not, happiness is one thing. He's done, man. He's just never. You know, even the way he slide now, the way he's going down, he goes down scared before he gets hit. He rolls down. He's just, you know, the NFL's not for him. It's not for that type of player. Look around the league at the people running the ball. And don't tell me Wilson, because Wilson isn't a runner. He's an escape artist. Okay? He doesn't run around to gain yards. He runs to get out of trouble to make a decision. And that's a big difference. There's where your
friend Rodgers, he picks his battles.
Rodgers doesn't run as much though.
No, he doesn't, but he picks his battles.
Yeah, but he's not coming out. Rodgers is a quarterback. He's a quarterback. He's a pocket quarterback looking to make his reads and put the ball where it's supposed to be. Russell Wilson doesn't do that, but Russell Wilson doesn't hurt his football team. He gets out of trouble. He gets out of trouble to throw the ball out of bounds if he has to. Okay? Where most players, once they get out of trouble, if I just wasted all this time getting out of trouble, I'm going to try to make a play. That's not smart. Smart is getting out of trouble so you don't lose yards, throw the ball out, do it on the next down, punt the ball, go to second or third down. Smart move. I'd like to say Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy Hanukkah. And then if you don't join us next week, have a happy New Year's. If you're going on vacation, most people do. I'm Cashy the King. I got my chef to the left, Brendan B. There you go. There's Brendan giving us a little noise for the action. Mikey's on the right side of me.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Everybody's got that. I'm Cashy the King. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. We'll catch you next week. Try to play out with a little music here. Maybe not. There it is down in the low part of the thing. There's our theme song. Ready? There it is. See you next week.
See you.
Thank you.